Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Tennis Manager. We're on episode 32. First off, thanks for the shout out to the Tennis Manager team who gave me a shout out as the streamer of the week this last week for hitting 30 plus episodes into this series. So thank you to them for that. But let's get on with our show. Now, we finished the London, aka Wimbledon, whatever championships you want to call it, last time out. That's now been a week behind us, and we've wrapped up the grass season. So here's our results from the grass season. You have Gallus plus 68 positions in the rankings, also plus 68, ironically matching points won this from the last season. Prize money was up, and she did it in one fewer tournament played. She did that by winning 85% of her matches, 12 out of 14. So really, really solid stretch for Gallus. Ita wasn't great. She only did 3 tournaments, and she lost first round all 3 times, only picking up a single point. Kostenseva, meanwhile, slips 4 spots in the rankings, though she won 144 points. She also won more money than previously, and actually she didn't play poorly at all. The only difference really was we only did 3 tournaments. We spent some more time training with Kostenseva than we did earlier on, and that led to where she finished, which was 3 wins out of 6 played, so it's only 50%, but it was much bigger tournaments that she was in than what she normally does. And the fact that she did win a few matches was actually a good thing, as it was definitely against higher competition. Big week for Kostenseva in terms of training. Anticipation was my main focus. Positioning was a secondary focus. You can see the massive gains for those. The lob is going to be the other area that we're going to try to hit on here pretty soon. But the anticipation positioning one, I'd like to see a bit more out of those. I want to get lob. I want to get those last couple 7s up to a 10 plus so that she's stronger all around, but at the same time try to starting to develop a few specific skills to make her a little more competitive and not just make her a little more all around capable, which won't necessarily make her win more. It'll just make her mess up a bit less. Smaller tournament for a change. It's been a little while. International 80. We were starting to do these pretty regularly, picked up a couple of wins and then haven't done any. Number 1 seed for Kostenseva. Gallus is also here, unseeded, still well down in the rankings. No Ita for this one. The two wouldn't see each other till the semifinals, so I don't mind that. That's a good thing. I doubt Gallus is going to get that deep into this tournament. You never know. Will Kostenseva get that deep? She hasn't necessarily had the best run of late. However, of course, that last little stretch where we did some training was certainly good. Had a question in the comments about increasing her serve. Now, through training, we're now at 13 on power. We're at 12 on accuracy. That by itself, the answer should be yes. Main reason why I'm not quite there yet and not ready to increase her intensity is her killer instinct, her mental well-being is all incredibly low. 4 to 7 is her ratings for all of those mentals. Killer instinct the highest at a 7. To get aces, it's not just coming down to having power and being accurate. You have to have that killer instinct. She doesn't have that. So until I see some sort of increase in those mentals, which we've brought up again and again and again in recent episodes, and sorry if I've become a little repetitive on that, if I'm becoming a bit of a broken record, but until we see one of those mental breakthroughs, one of those, core developments in just maturing for Kostenseva, that is by far what makes her not win these bigger tournaments, why she's not a bit higher up, why we're not seeing more out of Kostenseva. She needs a bit more mental maturity to truly succeed, to truly compete among the world's best, and to really increase intensity and push for things like key points and serve. Being aggressive on the return, That's fine. If you have the skills, that's not a big deal. That doesn't require such an intensive mindset as being aggressive on your serve or being aggressive on key points and really going for it, going for the jugular on your opponent. You need to be tightly attuned mentally in order to do those things, and she's not, and she's got some major weaknesses in those areas, and that's why we see the unforced errors so regularly. Okay, let's start pushing through this tournament. This definitely should be an open win, but you never know. 6-1-6-0. Okay, good start. Into the quarterfinals now, and both Gallus and Kostenseva are still here, so they've got a real shot at playing each other in the semis. The only problem here for Gallus being that she's up against the 5 seed, so she is well down in the rankings comparatively, and Gallus still has plenty of work to do. She's definitely no Kostenseva at this point. She's not an up-and-comer like Kostenseva, who just flew through the rankings. Gallus does actually need quite a bit of training to get anywhere near Kostenseva's level. So that being said, I don't expect that we'll have a semifinal matchup, but good on her. She beat the 4 seed. You never know. She could get there. It's certainly possible. She's not incapable. She's just not overtly capable. Funny thing was, we were talking about how Gallus might not see the semis. It's Kostenseva, at least who we've seen first, that nearly failed to get there herself. Speaking of that killer instinct thing, 6 aces, 6 double faults. I mean, that's that. You need a much higher serve percentage to start being aggressive on your serves. 48 total winners, 27 unforced errors. Again, that's Kostenseva of old. And Gallus does lose 2-6, 4-6. So she is out, and we will not play each other in the semis, but it was a quarterfinals appearance for Gallus, so that's good. Sozir, who just knocked off Gallus, is who we play in this next round, and this is a good-looking, young 23-year-old athlete. Two-handed backhand. She's been good. I mean, looking at her stats over the last year, she has had an excellent year, and looks like she's been flying up the rankings. She only got second qualifying round at Wimbledon, but semis, first qualifying round, round of 32, round of 16, winner, rookie 50 in Wuhan, round of 16, quarterfinals. I mean, she's playing deep into a lot of tournaments here, and definitely playing good. This might not be an easy match for us. It looks like balanced match. Ooh, tight first set, but then we crush her in the second. 7-5, 6-0, 42 winners, just 17. So she doesn't make very many mistakes, but she'll make you work for it. And for the final, it's Reese Brantmoyer, who I think I scouted not too long ago. A decent young talent, but not good enough. So this should be one of the easier matches we've actually had in this tournament, meaning hopefully we do come out as victors and don't have that mental collapse that is so popular for Kostenseva. In fact, they've played 7 times before. Oh, she nearly fails. 4-6 in the opening set, but then 6-1, 6-4 to bounce back and claim victory in this one. Just 2 aces, but 53 total winners. Kept the unforced errors down to 20. So not exactly minimum, but, not a massive amount of unforced errors along the way. They played quite a few points. I mean, they did end up playing 153 points along the way. But, yeah, okay. That's a solid result. Tournament win for Kostenseva. So I was just going to point out how Kostenseva's morale has improved. But playing a full week and winning a tournament continually hurts Kostenseva. She won that tournament. She's moving up in the rankings. But her morale went from beaming down to happy. This is that constant thing. Kostenseva does not take success well. She does not take going deep into tournaments well. She does not take losing tournaments well. She takes having time off or less training. She takes that well, and that's where we got her morale up. But playing just stresses her out, win or lose. And we're in Palermo for this one. This was an invite that I went ahead and accepted. So this should have been a training week, but it was a 280 Premier tournament, and I was like, yeah, okay, why not? Why not? It'll pay a little more. We'll see how we do. But because it was an invite that we accepted, we end up unseeded as we didn't register for the tournament ahead of time, and so you can see comparatively, just above us, we're ranked 48th, ranked 45th with a bye and a 9 seed. So you can see we would be coming in probably right about a 10 seed for this one. And we're going to have to play that 9 seed in the round of 32 if we get past this first one. So not going to be easy, but it could amount to 4 or 5 days off for Kostenseva and some regular training anyway. And she should get a little bit of payout for this and maybe a few points. You know, it's not all bad, right? Denart, we have played before and beat her. But looking at her last year, this looks like somebody who is struggling a little bit. Tight contest, 6-2, 4-6, 6-2, but it's enough. 53 total winners to her 43, so both of them pretty aggressive and really kept this thing clean. 15 unforced errors. That's one of the lowest we've seen in a long time for Kostenseva comparative to the points that were played. 170 points played, 15 unforced errors. That's under 10%. Under 10%. Where she committed some sort of unforced error. So she played clean 90% of the time and then added in 53 winners, which is, 33% of the time there or thereabouts, or about 30, give or take. So 30% winners and less than 10% unforced errors. That's big. That's really good. And that saw us through against a pretty decent opponent. We knew this one was coming considering they had a first round bye. The 9 seed, Palermo, Argentinian player, were neck and neck in terms of rankings. And of course, just a couple of weeks ago, we were 12 spots lower. So we've seen a little bit of a boost to our ranking after our recent results. And yeah, this is going to be a tough match. I think that top 50 is still a little bit above our level, even though we've been improving pretty rapidly this season. Oh, looky. We come away with this one, 2-6, 6-3, 7-5. We are winners. Total winners, almost identical. Unforced errors, almost identical. And good again, 22 this time. It is above that 10%, but, only marginally, 15% or so. That's good, considering it was a tough opponent. Those numbers are pretty representative to where we normally are. And Palermo certainly wasn't bad. She had more winners than us. I mean, that's something that's really rare. She had less unforced errors. Again, something very rare. Net points, we're not very good there. She was certainly better there. So, yeah, I'm impressed. I am impressed that we were able to come away with that win under those circumstances. And we're going to get a little bit deeper into this tournament, making it definitely well worth our while to have accepted this one and come to this tournament. I like the fact that we're probably going to bring in a decent amount of money. There is Corey Goff, who has been a key target of ours, 10 seed to this one, and we're now ranked just above Goff, though I would imagine Goff is probably a better player, which just goes to show our management of tournaments has helped our position in the rankings a fair bit. We moved from the 9 seed now onto the 7 seed. It's only getting tougher. Now into a top 40 player, Boskova. We'll see how we do against the Czech player. Wow, we are rolling right now. Kostenseva on a high. It's amazing how she does with better morale, right? 7-6, 6-4. Aces at a minimal, but same with the double faults. Winners, typical Kostenseva fashion on that one, 45 total winners. But the unforced errors, again, that's a category that just keeps getting better for Kostenseva. She was in the 30s or high 20s for a long time, and now we're starting to consistently see high teens to low 20s. It's getting much better, much cleaner, and that's been one of those key focal points. And those 10 points per game that we're pulling out has really, really helped us get deeper into tournaments, I think. I really think that's making a difference. You take out 10 unforced errors and capable of getting some winners, you're going to survive some rallies and good things will happen. Good things will come. 10 points can make a major, major difference. I mean, let's do the math. Boskova, 66. Add 10 points to that, she's got 76. Take 10 points away from us, and we drop to 63. You completely flip the result. We're into the quarterfinals. I think this is now the point where we're definitely going to meet our match. So maybe we have improved to the point where, top 50 is not our limit, but it's now maybe top 35 or 40. Maybe we've improved to that point where we can now handle beating, 39th, 45th were those last two close wins. So maybe we're there, but I don't think we're going to be good enough to compete against top 25 just yet. Oh, so close. With that high morale, we competed well, but we do come out just short on this one. Dang, 6-7, 6-7. With tiebreakers, we get 5 and 3 in both tiebreakers. That is insanely close, and we come out just behind. But actually, the reality is we were 14 points down. I mean, we only got 46% of total points won. That just goes to show that when we came out and won a game, we came out and squeezed through and just won. And then when Pearson, when she won a game, she often did so in comfortable fashion. Otherwise, I don't see how she squeezes out 14 points ahead of us. I mean, sure, the tiebreakers, right? There's a few points right there. Handful. Those other 10 points came from somewhere, because otherwise it's 6-6 and 6-6. So that's still not a major margin. I mean, 10 points by the end of 26 games played. That's 1 for every 2.6 games played. That's not a big difference, is it? Total winners, identical at 52. Serve winners, much better for Pearson. Kostenseva just 6 of those. Forehand, looking good. Backhand, okay. Unforced errors, though, just 14. She really did play very well against a strong opponent. Net points, perfect, 3 for 3. I mean, yeah. Actually, pretty impressed by Kostenseva through this tournament. Gallus winning a 80 tournament, so 80 level tournament for Gallus. That's awesome. And look at that, Kostenseva back to really, really happy. So all of a sudden, everybody's looking good. Dang, miracles do happen. Okay, training report for Kostenseva just through tournament play. Again, progress not as rapid in tournament play, but that's actually a pretty dang good week for her, even though it's a few of our higher skills that she was improving. Another 280 level tournament. Kostenseva does come in seeded this time, 7 seed. She gets the first round bye, so she's already into the round of 32. You would figure that these first couple of rounds for us, we should be able to see our way into the quarterfinals, theoretically. We'll see how things go after that, but you would think we could get through a couple rounds. You'd think. First round matchup, Sving, who we've played Sving before, but we lost last time and this time, amazingly. It's one athlete who just seems to have our number, 5'7", 6'4", 3'6". We go the distance and lose. Double faults really costing us, despite not even being aggressive, with 6 of those, 51 total winners. Sving with 59. Unforced errors, yeah, that was high for us, 31. We haven't seen much of that, but that was over 211 points won. So you would expect that to be low 20s, but that was probably 8 too many. And if you flipped those 8 points, look what happens. We'd flip that result. +8, -8 the other way. That would easily be enough to have the exact opposite and come out winner. Gallus improves her return to level 10 now. And Kostaseva double level ups with footwork and positioning, both increasing anticipation, which was on nothing just a few weeks ago, is on the verge of its next level already. And just a quick update on where things are with the infrastructure and that continued development. We have 3 and 4 months respectively left on youth, scouting center, and then the business center upgrades that are on their way. So the money we have right now, I'm trying to hang on to, even though we're approaching $1 million, just to see. I don't know how much the next business center upgrade is going to cost, but I would imagine it's going to cost right around $1 million. So in preparation and being patient for that, we wait to see what happens there, and then in 4 months we'll immediately get into that next business center upgrade, and then have a quick look and see what, if anything else, to do at the same time. And then meanwhile, the youth and scouting center will finish a month before that. So if that needs to go on to level 4, then we go straight into level 4 if we have the finances to do both. If not, I think maybe we'll take a stab at medical center level 2. Wouldn't be a bad thing to do to start bringing that along, especially since that first one is so cheap. I mean, we've made multiple months where we've had more than 150,000 in terms of profit for that month, so it's not that hard. It's not a big setback to invest a little bit there. But again, that sports center, I don't think we need to bother with that anytime soon. Though we might. More athletes means more money coming in. You know how that works. But right now we have that nice clean look in terms of the balance between having 3 athletes and the number of trainers we need. Of course, the physios is something I could potentially invest in and haven't. At this point, we could certainly hire some better trainers than what we have. At this point, I mean, there are different ways, different angles we could play. And if we do an upgrade to the sports center, that's kind of a natural way to do that, because we could filter down our lesser quality staff instead of firing them and replacing them and spending money, which, if you haven't figured it out by now, I'm very much about making the money flow in this game, as that's the key to long-term success. So I'm still being a cheapskate in terms of the staff. We're slowly spending more and more and getting better staff, and we kind of filter that down, keeping that with our top athlete for the most part, as we go along the way. But I still don't necessarily think we need to suddenly, just because we are making more money, suddenly spend a ton of money on the best trainer. The athletes, they'll get there in time. I don't have to have the best trainer to get them there a little bit faster, because again, our overall, if we're talking about 9 levels or 10 levels for each element, I mean that's 40 levels overall, and we have a total of 11 levels right now. Like, we've barely scratched the surface on our overall infrastructure. And if we can really, really turn over a very nice profit through that business center by focusing first there, it makes all of the rest of those upgrades come so much easier. It makes hiring really good staff and really good athletes, into the academy. It makes all of that so much easier. If you continually spend near a break-even point, it just makes everything take so much longer to happen. So that's why I don't mind sitting on my hands a little bit, knowing that now we do have some money to spend, but sitting on my hands and not spending all of that money makes that money add up that much faster. And just, it's like a snowball. Snowball effect is in play. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.